When I see girls, or let me rephrase that shit. When I'm in mixed company, and there's this guy comes in, and you can tell there's something that's shining about him, outstanding, something that makes him stand out in a good way from the rest. And when he leaves, one of the girls says, "He is so sexy." And these same girls, when they see you, they give you a hug. They love you, but they never say you're sexy. That hurts. Not so much in the sense that it hurts my feelings, but it's like you're running a marathon for first place. The whole freaking world's watching. You do not win. Someone else wins. Even if you get second place out of all those runners, the feeling of glumness, the feeling of pain that you feel when you see him getting all the awards, what you could have gotten but didn't, that's how it feels to me. He's got what I want. The good looks, the girls think he's sexy, hot, good looking. Yes, the girls love me. But I also want them to think I'm sexy and hot. Is that too much to fucking ask? Are you understanding now what it feels like? Now let's go to another subject. Drugs in America. There are drugs such as cocaine, crack, heroin, meth, ice, that take over your personality, that take over your actual soul. So that all you want is that drug. You'll sell your body. You'll sell everything you've ever worked for. You'll sell your last possessions to get another hit. And it's very heartbreaking. Now America has made laws to make these drugs illegal because it wants to curtail that. But look at the hell of an expense it's costing this nation. How it's eating away the tax dollars that could be used for something else to put these non-criminals in prison. Just as our management has the right to mismanage in their company, they also have the right to have to answer to upper management too. A person has the right to self-destruct. This is America. You have the right to succeed or to fail. If a person wants to self-destruct, there's nothing you can do. No law can change his mind. And you can keep him from self-destructing, but what a hell of a cost it's gonna cost the rest of us. So, like a person, anyways, drugs. Before Anslinger and his bullshit, making up all about these Negroes, pot-crazed Negroes, drugs were legal. And yes, there are people who got dependent on them, and there's a way to deal with that, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But our police were free to fight the real crime. Not people addicted to drugs that are bad only because the government says they're bad. But the way I'll deal with that is a compromise. It's perfectly legal to own whatever drugs you want to own, or even use them in the privacy of your own home. Keyword, privacy of your own home. And yes, there should be laws that restrict the use by police officers and people in positions where the public trust is concerned. Yes, they should not be allowed to use such drugs, because to whom much is given, much is required. With great power comes great responsibility. But to sell or even freely distribute drugs would be make it a felony. a big time felony that can't be pleaded down in the courts. And make it even against the law to freely distribute drugs in public. To give it to them free. Or even in private, it'd be against the law to sell the drugs. And make it so that if somebody owns so much of the drugs, they can be detained for suspicion of selling the drug. Or maybe even make it like a intent to sell. A lesser crime than actually selling, because they haven't been actually caught selling the stuff. But the way you deal with drugs is that it was done in the 1980s with the Reagans. Just say no. You gotta educate the people and tell them the fucking truth. Don't tell them drugs are. Don't tell them only half the story that drugs are bad. Because when they find out the good side of drugs, they're gonna think you're lying to them, and they're gonna try them and say, "Hey man, this feels good." They were lying. You tell them the fucking truth. Drugs make you feel better than you've ever felt before. But look at the price. But the amount of good it gives you, there's a little bit more bad gonna come your way afterwards. And you will have to keep on. You will become a slave to the drug. And it will gradually give you good feelings, but not as good as they were in the beginning, until they wreck your whole life. Education is the way. And semi-legalization, like I said. Each state could decide whether it be illegal or not to use drugs in public, but possession, perfectly legal. Distribution and selling of the drug, absolutely illegal as hell. Look, I know when you see people wrecking their lives with drug, government, you want to do something to save them from themselves. But you can't do that at the expense of the rest of society, with humongous costs that are wrecking the governments, our local and state governments, and even the federal government to try to cure a disease that has no cure, that cannot be cured by government. You can only be cured. The problem is with the human heart. You got to reach the heart. But education and knowledge, and even more importantly, you got to give that heart something, whatever it is that heart feels is missing. And that is where the religious sector comes in. Faith. Love. But anyways, America, what do you want? Do you want to keep trying to treat symptoms, hoping you'll one day cure the disease, wasting billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, tax dollars, to throw non-criminals in jail? Or do you want, the old way isn't working, it's time for a new way. When it's broken, yes, you need to fix it. And it's big time broken. And you might not like the solution, but hey, this is not a perfect society. This is not a perfect world. In fact, it is a hospital. People are sick. Sometimes people are sick individuals. We all got the potential sickness inside of us. Some people are more sick with it than others. We can't keep treating symptoms while the cause remains unaddressed. America, what do you want? It's time for a change. Tell me, America, I can't hear you. What do you want? What do you think we should do? I'm telling you what I think we need to do. Now let's work together and come up with an even better plan than I've come up with. Do you hear me? This is a democracy. This is yours. This is our responsibility. Not government's, it's ours. We are the government. Now let's get busy and get to work.